Okay, let's look at a little more complicated setup using our basic classic indicators. So we have on this chart, we've installed 3 different indicators, but only one of them is running now. The classic tools, classic overlay, and the classic overlay live. Let's take a look at these in order. Now, if you see just the way we turn these things on and off is always of interest. Because you can have a lot of indicators on the chart without running them. So we have classic tools here, which is visible. Okay, the overlay live is not visible. There, it's not visible, and the same with the classic overlay. It's not visible. So we're only concerned with the classic tools at the moment. And let's get a little orientation to that indicator. This up here at the top is where you turn off the main features, turn on and off the main features of the indicators. Okay, so we have right now we have, let's just kind of get this over here a little bit so we can see what we're doing. Right now we have only the PL dot and envelope bottom plotted here, and we can see them down here. We can change the colors and plots and so forth down here as we choose. Okay, now let's just add a few things here. Let's see, we want to look at the zones. Okay, well, we can display these zones here by doing this and apply, and now we see we have added zone lines, and these are configured in a style that you may or may not like, but there it is. And so let's see, for zone 6 top, let's see, it's currently set this way. Maybe we want to have a fat line there. It would look like that. Okay, maybe we want to have a solid line there. It would look like that, huh? Okay, so that's how this is set here. And we're gonna put this back to what it was. Okay, now so we see how we can add the zones, just the zone lines, right? Okay, now let's go up and say we want to add the nearby support resistance. Okay, this is a trade station little problem that keeps on cropping up there. Trade station, okay, Ninja Trader nearby support resistance, we apply, and there we are, these green lines here, and they can be made, the styling of that is set in here, nearby and further out parameters. We can set them fatter if we want, apply, there we are. Okay, and this is a classic way of showing these items from the lessons. And so, but you can change the style here any way you want, and you can add the further outs as well. There we are with the further outs, and they can be styled as well to however you'd like. So dots, and we want them to be about that. So okay, let's see, there we are. So that's kind of the way they are in some of our other software, but you can style them any way you want. I'm going to take them off for the moment. Now let's say we want to display perhaps the lines. Okay, so we want we've taken off and I'm going to take off the nearbys, and we want to apply just the dots and lines. Okay, let's see what we got here going. Okay, so you can see that the dots and lines levels and so forth are operating, and to do those we go down here to the plots down in here, and we want to be able to change and quantify them any way we want. So this black line is currently the 1-1 high and the 1-1 zone. If we want to take those off, we can set this to transparent. Okay. If we want to take the lower line off, we can set this to transparent. I like to plot them that way. You've seen, and they disappear. If we want to make them larger, we can do that too. We'll set it to black. Let's say we want to set it just a little more emphasis on that line when we do it like this. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to take these off now. So now on the individual dots and lines, you can see what's going on here with each one of these. See, the main channel is not plotted here at the moment, as I think. Right, so that's not plotted. The 5-1 cell, however, is the white. Okay, so that's a, you see it's a 5-1 cell like that. It goes right up there. 5-1 by 5-1. So the extended buys and sells, I sometimes turn them off because they're not useful so often. This is the 5-9 buy, 5-9 sell. The extended cell, okay. I turned it off in this demo version. 6 ones and 6 ones and 6 things, usually set in cyan. So we'll find a congestion here. These are 6 ones. You see them. So this is how you turn things on and off. Now, if we want to have an area going here, we can display these. We can display these nearbys and as areas rather than as lines, and that's particularly useful when we're doing overlays. So I'll come to that in a second. So this is the way you configure this software, turn things on and off, and you can turn the entire indicator off and on by clicking the visible line. We apply, and there's nothing there. Okay, we bring it back. There we are. Now, if you want to save this configuration, you want to deal with templates, and so let's do that. Templates. We want to save a template. Save as. So we have all these different templates floating around here, and you can add this down here. We'll call it a Daily Classic Tools Demo 1, just for. Okay, now this could be called up on another chart, and you may need to configure the instrument a little bit and configure the data series a little bit, but you can call up this exact configuration of the indicators using the templates. Okay, so let's go a little further in this story here, and we want to add the overlay, and this is going to be very interesting. Let's see, on the overlay, classic overlays, we add, let's see, we have a period that would be, let's call it a monthly, and 1 month, okay. And we want to display the monthly nearbys and the monthly envelope top and bottom, and we'll leave all this off for the moment. And we want to set the nearby color and further out color. The nearby color will be blue, and the opacity, so kind of a faded blue on the nearby. Okay, let's just do that and apply that first. Oh, we have to make it visible, don't we? Yeah, okay. That would actually be very helpful if we made it visible. Okay, now what we've done here, just look at this for a second. We've added the monthly nearbys, the monthly zone structure. Let's go in and kind of clean this up a little bit so we know we can see what we're doing. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to uncheck these, which is these checks will cause the zones to be displayed at the higher time period zones to be displayed as shaded, fully shaded. So that's all these shaded things. So we're going to apply this with those turned off and see what we got. Okay, now we just have the monthly nearbys displayed it as shaded areas, and this is what we were looking for when we set this up here. Yeah, classic overlays. So this is what we did. We displayed the nearby support and resistance, and we displayed them as an area. Okay, now we're going to change this a little bit, and we're going to go back to our zone plots, and we're going to display the zones. First of all, we're going to apply this, and now it's off. Now all we see are this monthly overlay of the monthly a monthly PL dot and envelope overlay. And you see if we open that up, now we can see what's going on there with the daily. Okay, so let's look at the monthly zones a little bit, because this is kind of cool. Classic overlay we want, and now we're going to add some zones. So we're going to add zone 5 and zone 2 as shaded areas here on the monthly. And you see this is what we get. Okay, so now just to configure this a second, I want to show you how we change the shading and the color on that. We go here to zone 5 opacity. We can make this more dense, more intense, or less intense that way. And this is how we see. I think we changed that down here. Let's see. I'm on the entirely wrong indicator here. This is a way of getting me screwed up immediately. Okay, to recap, we have the daily chart with daily lines and 5 and 6 lines on it and the envelope, and we're configuring the higher time period monthly overlay, and we've added zones 2 and 5, and now we're going to change the colors on those. So we're going to change the color on zones 2 and 5. We do that by changing the color here from white to, let's say, crimson, and the zone 2 top. I think we can do it in zone 2. Let's see, we'll change that to crimson as well. And now I'm going to go up and I'm going to make this opacity very light, 15% capacity. Okay, now apply these and we'll see the difference here. Okay, see this, they're both the same color, crimson, and the opacity is very light on the top bar versus the bottom, so that's how you change that. Okay, now suppose we wanted to have a full-fledged colored zone overlay with all the zones running. Let's just kind of take a look at that and see what we got here. How to do that. We'll have the classic overlay. Okay, now we want to turn all these on. Okay, and apply. And see, now we have these nice overlays all the way through. And we could change these two to individual colors as well. So we have the zone 1 at the bottom, not differentiated yet, but that can be fixed. So let me just work on that for a second.